Good morning and welcome back to another episode of Gumball Sports Machine. It is a Wednesday. It is a July 10th. And what are you laughing at? You four-eyed, stupid beanie wearing.
No, just laughing at Kev. You can continue.
Huh? No, bro, because Kev's pro. See? Yeah. All right, bet. No, all right. Bet. Anyways. As you can see, once again, I am not here by myself. The big four, the quadruple team, the big 3+1. Any of the nicknames for this big four? Kind of feel like I'm kind of by myself here.
What are you, like the 2008 Celtics?
Dang, that is a good point. They did win. They did beat the Lakers too. They did beat Kobe. So I like that a lot.
I kind of like 2018 Cavs where I'm LeBron and you guys are everybody else.
No way. No way.
I mean?
You know what? I kind of like that. I kind of like that better.
Oh, big three.
but welcome back to another episode. In all seriousness, of course, not by myself. I got John in the top right. I got Kev playing 2K in the bottom right. And I got D-Lo in the bottom left. Welcome back. Bro, Kevin, why are you playing 2K, bro? We're recording a show.
Bro, we're talking about sports. I'm playing sports. It's the same thing. Let's get it. Let's start the show.
All right, and then just happy. And then just
you could at least like set up your phone so like we can see you. You know what
I
mean?
was gonna say, like, you're just completely out of the camera.
You guys are seeing me right now.
I know there's something you can set your phone up on to like we can see your whole.
He's got like no water bottle, no nothing. He's just bare table.
Dude, there's a dresser in there you can set your phone up on. Dude, God, dude.
Continue, bro. I'm listening.
Yeah, how do we know that? We can't even see you.
Shit, I can't see you guys either. Messing my lies.
Wow.
That's gotta
yeah, we're gonna start. Okay. So I'm gonna start the show. First segment of the show every morning or every show. We go over the top stories of whatever day it may be. Today, July 10th, we go over something that you watch. Alrighty, the biggest news of this morning: Kawhi Leonard opts out of the 2024 Paris Olympics for whatever reason, and they did happen to find a replacement. But I do want to go over him opting out first of all before anything. D'Lo, what do you think is the reason why Kawhi is out or has opted out for the Olympics? And what do you think this does to the team?
He wants to be in street clothes. I mean, I don't know if there's any more like reason than that. Kawhi, I just don't think is a fan of playing basketball anymore. Ever since winning the chip in 2019, he just, I don't know. He doesn't seem motivated anymore. It seems like, hey, Jokic has like other obligations though. He's trying to play with his horse and stuff like that. But
it's not an obligation, dude. Kawhi has kids.
Bro, we don't know that. We know nothing about Kawhi.
I'm pretty sure Kawhi has like a daughter or something, dude.
But no, it's kind of hard to say why, because this Team USA is stacked after last year. We heard the comments and everyone was like, all right, I've had enough, and they're going for gold this year. So I'm not quite sure why he would drop out. And it's a free gold medal at this point. But, odds are he was going to get injured at some point anyway. So probably best to avoid the injury, focus on the next season, and just continue.
Well, first of all, I do want to say This show will be coming in person. We will be in person here within the next few weeks. I cannot wait until this show is in person so I can throw this little Patriot fan wearing across the room, dude. But John, what do you think, man? Why do you think Kawhi is opted out of the Olympics for this year?
Yeah, I thought that was kind of odd too. I did feel like it was essentially like almost a free gold medal. The team's pretty stacked. I hope it's nothing personal that he's going through, but for the most part, you never really know with Kawhi. He's not exactly like the most open person. But I think Derek White's a good fit anyway. Essentially replace a defender for a defender because the team's so stacked. So it's nice to have some more like true role players instead of a guy who's more used to playing with the ball in his hand. So I feel like the team won't really matter at all, to be honest. But it just sucks because Kawhi won't get a gold medal.
I don't remember. Did he play in 2022? He didn't play in 2022, did he? Or 2021 or whatever it was. He didn't play, right? Okay. So he does not have a gold medal, does he? I don't think he does. Unless he played in 2016.
Not that I know of.
Okay.
I don't know if he was on the 2016 team. I don't think he was.
That's a good question. But I will find that out. But Kev, what do you think? What do you think? What do you think is the reason Kawhi left, and what do you think this will do to Team USA now that he's gone?
He must have seen how much fun they were having. And he probably didn't want to be having fun. He wanted to just kind of chill out a bit. And they were just laughing and goofing around too much. So that's probably why he wanted to remove himself from that equation. And then what it does to Team USA. But all jokes aside, I'm not sure what happened behind closed doors. I'm not sure if there was something between Kawhi and maybe another player. They haven't given us much to work off of. All we got was Kawhi was withdrawing from Team USA, and then Derek White replacing. That's all we got. Nothing else came in through the news. And what it does after his departure is you bring in someone like Derek White. I think he's a good player for replacing him. I just kind of hoped it wasn't another guard. I hoped they were going to bring in someone like Jaylen Brown, but I heard he wasn't interested in playing for Team USA. Or maybe someone like Paul George. I was hoping you can bring another wing to replace Kawhi. Because the team has lots of guards, like I said. There's probably 5-6 guards on that team already.
Yeah, there's a lot. Yeah, Booker, Steph.
So I think they were missing a couple of key wings because I can only think of Tatum, Brown, and KD as the only wings, right? Or am I tripping now?
Tatum, Brown, KD,
and I think that's it. So I think I would have liked to see another wing like Brown or George, but I think White is a good fit for the squad. They do need, like John said, they do need another defender, another role player. They don't need any star players because that team is already the Avengers. You don't need any more heroes on that team. So I think it's a good fit, and I don't think it's going to be a big loss for Team USA because of how stacked they are.
And I just want to point this out. You talk about how stacked this year's Team USA is with LeBron, KD, Anthony Davis, again Steph Curry. The 2016 roster, who I believe won gold.
Mm-hmm.
Who I believe won gold. This was the roster: Paul George, DeMarcus Cousins, DeAndre Jordan, Carmelo Anthony, KD, Draymond Green, Harrison Barnes, Kyrie, Jimmy Butler, Kyle Lowry, DeMar DeRozan, Klay Thompson. This year's Team USA would beat that team by 30. So that's just how stacked this team's Team USA is. And I say that to point out that yes, Kawhi leaving. I mean, Kawhi is, I think, still one of the top 15, 20 best players in the world. And so I think it is a big drop off from Kawhi to Derek White, and we're going to get to Derek White here in a minute. But I don't know. Again, Kev, you kind of joked about it, but and D'Lo, you also did too. I don't know why he dropped out. It doesn't seem like he actually wants to really hoop anymore. I mean, I know he did just get paid by the Clippers, but him dropping out, that did kind of just come out of nowhere. So I don't know. It could be maybe it's an injury behind the scenes that's a little bit more serious. Maybe it's his knee injury that did happen during the playoff series against the Mavericks that was possibly could have been a little bit more serious. That's affecting him now. Could be something like that. I hope he's okay because he's a good player. He's a fun player to watch when he's healthy. But in terms of Derek White, though, Kev, what's the impact that Derek White could bring to this team in place of Kawhi Leonard?
Before I answer that question, I want to throw something out there because you did bring up about the 2016 squad.
Mm-hmm.
Where does this 2024 squad rank all time in U.S. Men's team?
Third.
Behind the 92 and 2018?
No, but 92 and 2012.
Okay.
2012.
So just keep that in mind because I was just curious about where you guys had the 2024 team ranked of all time. But what Derek White brings to the table is, I mean, I said it a little bit earlier. He's gonna add, space, and he's gonna add that spot up threat. He can dribble put the ball on the floor a couple of times, create his own shot. He can also add that defense too. Yeah, I mean, you're gonna need some defense, but you already have guys like Drew Holiday and my mind is blank right now, and Anthony Edwards and all those guys that can play defense at the guard position. So you have those guys already. So I'm not sure where Derek White's gonna fit into the rotation. I'm not sure if he's gonna get any minutes unless if he gets garbage minutes. But the team is just already stacked, so I don't see the reason for Derek White to be on the floor unless if it's like a blowout.
What do you think, D'Lo? What do you think, D'Lo? What do you think Derek White brings to the team?
It's hard, right? Because if I was saying this as him playing on the Celtics, I'd be like, oh yeah, this is great, heart and soul of the team. I've been saying it all playoffs, blah blah blah, right? But this team is so stacked at every position, and in all honesty, it's hard to find a spot for him on the floor. If you just look at the talent of the roster, you have to imagine that he is one of the last guys coming off the bench. And so with Kawhi, it's a little different. He's got, the name value, and he's obviously a better player. So he would have had a better time seeing the floor over Derek White. But in terms of impact, it's going to be a huge decline in terms of Kawhi to Derek White. But when he's on the floor, you know what he's going to give you. He's going to play some stingy defense, and he's going to knock down some shots when he has to. So overall, just a similar role to how he is in Boston, but it's just going to be hard to actually see him do that when he's not on the floor. So
what do you think, John? What does Derek White bring to Team USA?
I agree some with what D'Lo is saying. It's going to be a bit harder to see his actual true impact because he's going to get such I feel like not a super small role, but he's definitely going to get a reduced role on Team USA to where he's essentially like the best role player or one of the two best role players on the Celtics. He's like not really going to get too much minutes in comparison to what type of team we have built right now. I hope he gets some playtime. If he gets playtime, he'll definitely be, he'll be of use. He's a great defender, just a really smart basketball player. So he's always going to be, useful when he steps on the court. It's just, is he going to step on the court, and how many times is he going to step on the court? Because this team is just so good.
I think Derek White, especially defensively, he brings a different sort of energy. It's hard to say that he's actually going to get important minutes, like clutch time minutes. Just because, again, you guys mentioned the talent that's on this team in terms of the guards, especially. You have Steph, you have Book, you have Ant, you have all these guards who are all NBA and are there for a reason. So I think it'd be hard for him to get important minutes, but I think if they absolutely do need a spark, I think Derek White can go in, play some defense, and knock down a few big threes, just like he did for the Celtics in their championship run. So Derek White, again, it's a pretty big drop off from Kawhi Leonard to Derek White. But again, Derek White brings some things that Kawhi doesn't. He brings energy. He brings he might be a little bit of better of a 3-point shooter than Kawhi. So he does bring some things that Kawhi does not. So I think he'll fit into this team pretty well. But again, like you guys mentioned, it'll be hard for him to actually find minutes on this ridiculously talented Team USA team. Next, Zach Edey had his his summer league debut the other day. He missed the game-winning dunk, but was able to redeem himself and get the game-tying tip-in for the Grizzlies. And he played pretty well. I don't know his exact stats. Didn't
he have a double-double?
I believe he did. I believe he did have a double-double.
Was it like 14 and 15 or something?
That sounds about right. I'll have to find it. I don't know. They probably should have, I probably should have had this up. But
edit it out. Edit it out.
But he did play very well. He did have, again, he did miss the dunk, but ended up redeeming himself and getting the game-tying tip in, and is now the betting favorite to win Rookie of the Year. That is over Zachary Risacher and Alex Sarr and all these other guys Reed Shepard, who were drafted higher than him. So, Kev, in terms of Zach Edey, do you think just off this one performance, you think he should be the betting favorite for Rookie of the Year?
I'm not just gonna be like wowed by just one game right away. And it's also in summer league too. It's not against actual NBA competition because you're playing against guys that won't probably get any minutes in the NBA on the regular basis. It's gonna be hard to say off just one performance. We gotta see it throughout the whole entire season. Like D'Lo said the other day, Wemby had struggled his first game, and he won Rookie of the Year. So, it's just one game, so I won't overreact to it. It's a good sign of what he can bring to the table, what he can do. But it's just like I said, this is one game. It's just too early to tell to even confirm or say that he could win Rookie of the Year.
What do you think, John?
Yeah, I agree. It's a good showing, but it is summer league and it is his first game. It is good to know that he can put up those type of stat lines against higher competition. It was 14 points, 15 boards. I think it was 4 blocks. That's really good. He's going to be playing with the Grizzlies too, man. Let's not forget, still Jaw. I still got, JJ. So it's a good squad. I feel like he fits that team very well too. Essentially kind of like another Steven Adams role. I feel like he'll be playing. I think he'll do a good job. Betting favorite, it's a bit wild, but you never know. I think he'll do pretty solid.
What do you think, D'Lo?
I'm inclined both ways. Okay. I think he's gonna flourish playing with Ja, especially in the pick and roll. They're going to be phenomenal, kind of like how Ja is with Jaren Jackson Jr. I see that level of play from him consistently. However, the big men of the NBA, I have a feeling, are going to torch him offensively. You have guys like Jokic and Embiid who can just do anything on the floor, and then you have guys like Bam and Cat and these guys that can space the floor. And so I just don't know if he's quick enough defensively to have the defensive presence outside of shot blocking. So that's going to be something interesting to see. But offensively, I think he'll be fine. Again, playing pick and roll with Ja, it will work out for him, even if it's with JJJ and he's posting short corner for a drop off. He's going to have no problem offensively. It's the defensive end that I'm worried for him. I think he might be a little too slow, but we'll see. And so it's kind of hard to tell, especially this early, but I think those are some concerns, along with just playing time in general. I think that, these higher overall picks are going to get more opportunity because they were drafted to worse teams, while the Grizzlies, I imagine, would be a playoff team with Ja back. So minutes could also play a factor. So there's just too many factors to actually conclude that early, but I think he has a good shot of being in that conversation.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. Zach Edey has the size. He's 7'4". He's a big 7'4". It's not like he's not too skinny, but he has some size.
300.
Yeah, he's a big dude. Here's the problem. And D-Lo, you kind of mentioned it. He'll be fine against the Jonas Valanciunas of the world, the Clint Capellas of the world, the Jakob Poeltls, the Steven Adams of the world. He'll be fine playing against them. But when you come up to bigs who can really move and score the basketball, when you play against guys like Wemby and Joel Embiid and Jokic and guys like that who can move and shoot the three ball and also get to the basket, he is going to struggle against them. He's going to struggle because he can't move laterally very well. He just can't. And so the challenge is going to be is he going to be able to guard those guys? Is he going to be able to guard the Embiids, the Jokic's, the Giannis's possibly of the world? So and right now my answer would be no.
Bless you.
Thank you.
Bless you.
Thank you. Okay, why are you smiling like that?
He said it.
Why are you smiling? Why? Right now, my answer would be no. If Zach Edey could guard those guys, just because he struggles so hard moving laterally. So, I don't think he's going to win Rookie of the Year. Again, I think he might thrive in the offense with Ja and with Desmond Bane and with those guys and being able to play in the pick and roll. But I think I really like Risa Shea, obviously the number one pick. Alex Sarr is really good. Reed Shepherd might get a few opportunities with Houston. I don't know why they took a guard. They have so many guards down there. But I don't know. I don't know if I'm a betting man. I don't know if I bet on Zach Edey to win Rookie of the Year. Lastly, WNBA, a little WNBA talk. I know Deal and I are very big WNBA fans, and I know John and Kev, I know you guys have been watching a little bit more this year. Another rookie of the year conversation: Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark was betted at like negative or minus 3,000 a few weeks ago. That gap has closed to, I believe Caitlin Clark is a negative 500. They're minus 500. So she's still favored, but not nearly as much as she was a few weeks ago. And here is Monica McNutt breaking that down.
My Rookie of the Year is going to go based on the standings.
Okay.
Because I think that is how you have the opportunity to measure impact.
And the sky's right above them.
And the sky right now are in the playoffs, so you'd have to give the nod in my mind to Angel Reese. Look, the double-double streak that she's rocking and rolling, chasing down, 12 double-doubles to start is the record that spanned over 2 seasons. She's already gotten to 11. I think when you sit back and you look at what's around her, head coach Teresa Weatherspoon in her first year, there's not another number 1 draft pick on that roster currently. There's not another all-star on that roster currently from years past. Indiana, they are building blocks.
Yeah.
Aaliyah Boston, Rookie of the Year, number 1 pick last year. Obviously, Caitlin Clark this year. Kelsey Mitchell has had big-time seasons over the course of her career. So there's more there in terms of the supporting cast around Caitlin, but both of them have been incredibly impressive. And I think those odds don't really indicate how close this race is.
Yeah.
So, D'Lo, I'm gonna start off with you. What were your thoughts on what Monica just said, and who do you think should be favored to win Rookie of the Year so far throughout the season?
Bullshit. Complete and utter bullshit. Listen, I absolutely hate when people say that standings should matter in these award races. It should not matter at all, right? It's who is the best rookie of that year? Who is the most valuable player of that year, regardless of standings, right? Because if standings were involved, Chet would have won it last year in the NBA instead of Vic, right? But we all know that Victor was just better, and so he won. And to see this in the WNBA to try and push this Angel Reese Rookie of the Year agenda is kind of crazy to me, especially considering now that the Fever are a game ahead of the Sky now. in terms of the standings. So does that mean Caitlin Clark is back on top? Like that, it's so wild to me. Okay, I understand she's got. I don't know if she actually had one last night when they played, but she's up to 13 straight double doubles, which is a WNBA record for a rookie. Congrats. Okay, I'm not trying to take that away from you. But this whole agenda of the Fever have more pieces around Caitlin Clark and their building blocks or whatever. Listen, they were the number 1 overall pick for a reason. They sucked last year. And now Caitlin Clark has come in and they are semi-okay. Like, I don't understand the concept here. Especially the whole standing. The standing thing bothers me to a whole nother level. And it's not just in the WNBA. It's in the NBA too. And I know John over there is a Kobe fan. And Jamal above me is a Suns fan. And we all agree that Kobe should have some of those MVPs that Steve Nash got, but didn't get because of standings.
Absolutely not.
Because of the standings of the league. Jamal will deny it because he's biased, but we all know.
No. In all fairness,
Listen, Kobe was averaging like 35, 36 a game the year that Steve Nash won MVP. I don't know about the other year, but one of the years he was definitely robbed for sure. And to see it happening in the WNBA with voters like Monica, who have a vote and are doing it based off of standings instead of actual production, is kind of crazy to me. But yeah.
Well, listen, and John and Kev, if you don't mind, I'm gonna go take off real quick. But Angel Reese, again, off the court can't stand Angel Reese. Cannot stand Angel. I think she talks too much. I think a lot of stuff she talks about, I think she does to get attention, which teach his own. You know, she's making a good living off of it. But on the basketball court, she is. You know what? She's made a lot of strides. She's made a lot of strides again. So she did end up extending her triple double streak last night. So she is up to 14. And she had, I think, 11 and 13 yesterday. So, but here's my problem with Angel Reese on the basketball court. She's not very efficient. Not very efficient from the floor. And I think that has more of an impact because I will also preface this by saying Caitlin Clark is also not very efficient. But Caitlin Clark takes a lot more three-pointers, which is her choice. But she takes a lot more three-pointers. And Angel Reese, a lot of her baskets are layups and close to the basket. So there's no reason why you should be shooting under 50% if all your shots are going to be layups. So that in that case, I don't think she's not very efficient. I think the way within she scores the ball, I think it's not pretty, but she does it. She's able to score the ball. She's able to get inside. I think Caitlin Clark is the better basketball player. But this double streak is pretty impressive, and it's still going. So I think this rookie of the year race is very, very close. But I do think Caitlin Clark does have the lead right now. Caitlin Clark, she does have a pretty decent team. She has Kelsey Mitchell, who's been an all-star, and I love Kelsey Mitchell. I think she's a dog. She has the rookie of the year last year in Aaliyah Boston, so that she does have a pretty good team. But again, I think, and even Angel Reese has a pretty good team. She has Kennedy Carter, who I think is a very good player. And she has a few other players. There's another guard. I can't remember the name right now, but again, they're both making their teams better, as they should be. But like D'Lo said, who's the better rookie of the year? Let's keep it to that. Who's the better rookie of the year? But Kev, what do you think, man? Who do you think is leading the race right now in terms of rookie of the year for the WNBA?
Damn it, D'Lo, you talk way too much because you basically took everything that I was gonna talk. Basically, to quote a lot of the things that D'Lo said, the same comparison with Wemby and Chet this past season. I mean, Chet, he was on the better team. He had the number one seed, and yet people were still saying Wemby should deserve it because if you look at it from the eye test and even from the box score as well, Wemby beats him in every single category besides having the better record as a team. So it's kind of like the same comparison with Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark on their respective teams. I personally think, like D'Lo said, the Fever were the number one. They had the number one pick for a reason this past season because they weren't as good as the Chicago team. So it's basically like if you want to look add in like better teams, then so be it. But if you want to look just Rookie of the Year, where that's the award you're getting, you look at the better rookie of that season, and from the eye test, it's Caitlin Clark. And like you said too, Jamal, her field goal percentage is not as efficient, but it's also because she's taking all of these threes as compared to injuries where you don't see her attempting like 5 threes a game. You don't. All you see her is basically put back scoring opportunities and back to the basket scoring. So she should also be more efficient as well if she's not taking any of those deep jumpers. So I think Caitlin Clark still has the lead, and I think she should get away with the Rookie of the Year award.
What do you think, John?
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of Angel Reese. Just the comments that she says, and overall the way that she presents herself outside of the basketball court and off the court. Not a fan whatsoever. But she is a damn good basketball player. I do agree that efficiency is a bit of an issue. If she gets that efficiency sorted, I see her being an absolute problem, like an actual problem in that league. She's very open to being physical. She does not back away from being physical whatsoever, so I'll give her that. But she just got to fix those efficiency problems. If she did have better efficiency, I think this race honestly could have went to her. But it's just the fact that it's just, come on, Caitlin Clark's doing a lot. I think last time I saw her stats, it was around like 17, 5 and 5. Sure, she was turning the ball over a little bit, but first year she has the ball in her hands a good amount. I mean, that's pretty good. I'd take that on the NBA level, let alone the WNBA. So I just don't see how she doesn't get this Rookie of the Year race. Shout out to Angel Reese though. She's doing her thing.
Listen,
I'm
not trying to like hate on Angel Reese, but last I checked, which was yesterday before the game, Angel Reese was shooting 42% from the field, and Caitlin Clark was shooting 39%. While Angel Reese had only taken 8 threes total in the season, and she only knocked down her first a few games ago. And considering most of her points are literal putbacks around the rim, to shoot 42% on that is crazy to me, especially with the shots that Caitlin takes, and she's shooting 39%, which is not good. I'm not going to emphasize that it's good because it's not. But the fact that Caitlin is being guarded the way she is and is still taking the shots that she is and is still only a percentage point or two in field goal percentage down from Angel Reese, I think speaks volumes. And I also want to mention that turnover problem, because if you watch the Fever games, a lot of her turnovers are not her fault. It's a fumbled pass that leads out of bounds or into a defender's hands. Her passes are pinpoint, and her teammates do not catch the ball. And I know you guys probably see it on Twitter with Fever players getting called Butterfingers. But it's true. If you watch Fever games and you watch her turnovers, she genuinely has about maybe 1 or 2 turnovers that are legitimately her fault. The other 3, 4, 5 turnovers are all on other people. So I just wanted to point that out as well. Go ahead.
Yeah, you know what? I will say a lot of her turnovers, some of her turnovers, yes, I think are on her teammates for sure. But I also think she has been very, especially at the beginning of the season, she was very loose with the ball. Caitlin Clark, I think she was trying, at the beginning of the season, I think she was trying to do too much. I think she was trying to live up to the hype. She's kind of come down to reality now. She's kind of, all right, you know what, this is how I got to play. This is how I got to adjust. But yeah, so again, yes, some of her turnovers definitely are on her teammates, but I do also want to preface she has been a little loose with the ball since coming into the league. And in terms of Angel Reese, again, she's averaging 14 points, but she's averaging 14 points on 11 field goal attempts. So and again, she's shooting this. She is literally shooting. D'Lo said she shot 8 3-pointers total on the season. She averages 0.1 3-pointers a game, and she's averaging 14 points on 11 shots. And you're shooting what 41.8, 42% from the field. Has to be better than that. Has to be better than that, especially when all your shots are at the rim. But that's gonna close out again. Very long, something to chew on. But it was a lot of good stuff to talk about. Obviously being the four of us, definitely want all of us to get our point across. So definitely not complaining. Again, I love to have all four of us on here at the same time. I think it's awesome. I think it makes the show better. But you want to get to this because we didn't get to it yesterday. What is Kevin, bro? Kevin, bro. What's it? What are you laughing at?
There's nothing funny. Keep going.
Yeah, no, okay.
Edit this out.
Right.
Edit it out.
Oh no, this is all staying in. Yep. But so around the NBA draft, there were some rumors going around. That's rumor started by Stephen A. Smith, saying that Kevin Durant wanted to be traded and the Suns wanted to trade Kevin Durant. All of that ended up being BS. None of it was true. But again, look who's talking, and Stephen A. Smith. A lot of the stuff he says is not true. That's why he talks for a living instead of reports. That's why Shams and Woj have a job. But in terms of Kevin Durant, should the Suns trade Kevin Durant? Is that the best thing for the Suns to do, or should they keep him? John, I'm gonna start with you. Do you think the best move for the Suns to do is trade Kevin Durant, or should they keep him for another season?
Man, I'd say keep him for another season. It's just tough because they're so restricted with the whole Bradley Beal situation, and I feel like they really can't build a proper team around Book and KD because Bradley Beal, bro, he's like that ugly friend, that ugly fat friend that's just just keeping all the baddies away, man. He's that guy. He's the guy who's just like the third wheel. He's no help. So I wouldn't trade KD. I just wish I wish Book and KD just realize, hey, we're not the issue. It's Beal. I hope they just stick it out a little bit longer so they can get that Beal situation sorted out. Because I do love Kevin Durant, man. It's one of my favorite players. I do. It sucks to see him and Book in the situation.
Hey, listen. That was crazy. That was crazy.
It's accurate. It's accurate. That's how I feel about Bradley Beal.
I'm not arguing. I am not arguing at all. That's a really good point.
I watch these games, bro, and I'm seeing Book and KD just trying their ass off, man. Really are trying to get anything started. I don't know what game it was. I think it was in the playoffs. I think it was. I was watching you guys play, and 3 or 4 straight possessions, you got beat by the same play. It was I'm like, bro, what am I watching? No adjustments being made. It's just terrible. So I don't necessarily think it's a KD thing. It's definitely the team around him.
I will definitely tell you, if you think you were frustrated, I had to get a new few TVs this year because it was so frustrating watching this team. Bradley Beal did end up starting the season hurt. He did miss, I think, the first 23 games, 24 games, something like that. And then we finally started to kind of get in the rhythm, and then we just never could sustain that rhythm. That was a problem. We could never sustain the rhythm between the big three and really get that chemistry going. I think it'll be better this year. I think it'll be a lot better this year. It's hard for me to say that the Suns will get out of the first round. I wish I could say that. Lord knows I wish I could say, and I have confidence in saying the Suns can get out of the first round. But in terms of trading Kevin Durant, absolutely not. The only way you trade Kevin Durant is if you get something at the very least equal in what you gave up for him. I think the Rockets were willing to give up at least the equal amount that they gave up for him when they traded him from Brooklyn. But I don't think you just go 1 year on this. I think this is a process. I think this is something you want to really try and go forward on, especially because Kevin Durant is one of the best players to ever step foot on a basketball court in this entire world. So I think you stick with it. Book and KD really enjoy playing with each other. They enjoy being around each other. Beal has to find some way to fit into that mix and be productive in that mix. He started becoming more productive towards the end of the season. My problem with Bradley Beal, he wasn't being nearly as aggressive as he should have been. He only averaged, I think, 15 or 16 points on the year. That's not good enough. That's not going to get it done. So, in bringing in Monte Morris, who is fantastic, and when it comes to not turning the ball over, he had 7 turnovers all of last season. He had 7 turnovers. That is a guy who's not going to turn the ball over and who can get the ball to your big three. Instead of having to get the ball to themselves, Book can move off the ball and be a shooting guard again. Beal can move off the ball and be a shooting guard again. Kevin Durant doesn't have to stand in the corner and wait for somebody to pass him the ball, and so he can shoot a wide open, not a wide, but a corner three. But Monte Morris, I think, is such a huge addition to this team to be able to get the big three the ball. Miles Plumlee is another guy who I think is going to be very important, or Mason Plumlee. Mason Plumlee is going to be another guy who's very important to this team in terms of the physicality and his ability to see the floor and rebounding the ball. So absolutely not do I think you trade Kevin Durant right now. Again, running back, you've only had 1.5 years, if not even a year and a quarter of a year to really have this Book and KD thing and really try to test it out. So I think this year will be the most important year of this entire thing. If they don't have success, then you break it up. I think if they're 500, if they're a little bit below 500 at the All-Star break, you trade them. Get rid of them, and try and get as much as you can for them. So, but in terms of right now, keep them. See how it works, and you really try and go for it this year. But Kev, what do you think in terms of trading for Kevin Durant? Do you think the Suns should trade for Durant, or do you think they should keep him and go for another year?
I think it reminds me of how the Clippers were last season when they were just red hot, but you look at it from their age standpoint, their window wasn't going to be as big as the Celtics or the Nuggets or the other teams were. And I think it's kind of the same thing with Phoenix. I'm not saying that they will be as powerful as they were as the Clippers were last season, but if you have guys like D-Book and KD, your window for success is pretty big. I just don't know if it can go past this upcoming season. I think this upcoming season is probably gonna be the year where you see where they end up. Like you said, around the All-Star break, if they're around 500, you trade them. The only problem I have with that is you trade KD at around that time, and if he's not doing too well, where it seems like he's taken a step back from the year that he had this previous season, then his trade value might go down. And I'm not sure if you're able to get 4 or 5 first-round picks, maybe 3. But I think if you look at it from another standpoint, where if you guys are not doing too well, and KD's playing an amazing basketball season, that right there is the biggest trade window you can get, and the most value you can get from KD. Other than that, I said just ride it out. If they can be a top 6 team in the West, then just ride it out. Go to the playoffs, and if you do get bounced first round, I think that's when you break it up and try to get as much value as you can.
What do you think, D'Lo?
Listen, I am going to disagree with all of you, okay? I think they blow it up now, and here's why, okay? They got bounced in the first round last year in a sweep against the Timberwolves. The West is only getting better, okay? You're giving the Thunder another year of experience. The Mavericks, who just went to the finals, added Klay Thompson. You have the Nuggets, who are still the Nuggets. The Timberwolves, who got a really good draft pick to play guard behind Mike Conley. You have the Kings, who just added DeMar DeRozan. You have the Grizzlies, who are getting Ja back. And so the West itself is getting better and better. And in all honesty, I don't see the Suns competing against a majority of the upper echelon teams in the West. And correct me if I'm wrong, but KD he's getting old. He's 34, 35 now. And he'll be
36. He'll be 36 in September.
Yeah, he's only getting older. Beal is up there too. He's like 32, 33,
30.
somewhere around there. 30. Okay. past his prime. And Book is in the middle of his prime right now. Okay. You're not going to build a team around him to go out and beat these heavy hitters in the West. If you were in the East, this would be a completely different conversation. You're in the West, and I don't see them competing. I see them getting bounced in the first round to any of the upper teams. And so at this point currently, I just don't see a point in running it back. I think you blow it up. I think you go Thunder mode and you get a bunch of draft picks now while you still can, and you rebuild and you try and get Cooper Flag. Kevin's guy. Kevin loves Cooper Flag. You try and get Cooper with the first pick. I think that's the best.
So
plan.
Completely tank. You completely tank.
Completely tank. Get rid of Beal. Get rid of KD. Potentially look at getting rid of Booker. You get rid of all of them. And you rebuild because it's not working. And it hasn't worked since they went to the finals in 2021. Obviously, they had the meltdown of 22. Jamal hates it so much. That's the reason why he hates Luka with a passion. 2023, they got bounced by Denver in 6 games in the second round. Last year, they got bounced by Minnesota in a sweep in the first round. And so they haven't improved as a team outside of Monte Morris, who, again, I love the pickup. Great pickup. Not going to win you a championship. So it's just I don't see a clear path to them for them to win anything in the West. So you may as well blow it up now and get value before they keep declining. KD is only going to regress further. Bradley Beal is not going to prove any value. As Jamal says, half a bag of Funyuns is what he'd give for Bradley Beal right now. So you may as well just get value out of him now.
Like John said, that one ugly friend.
Yeah, like you just got to move on. You got to rebuild, and you just got to blow it up if you're the Suns.
Okay, well here's one thing. Here's the thing I did agree with you is the Bradley Beal. Bradley Beal he's 30. He has been terrible as long as he's wore that Phoenix Sun jersey. Yes, I understand he was only a year and he was hurt. Blowing it up right now is, I think, the worst possible thing the Suns could do. Here's why. There are 3 teams, and I believe 3 true contenders in the West that could get to the finals. Denver, Minnesota, OKC. Those are the teams you're trying to catch up to. The other team, the Lakers, the Clippers, the
we're just going to disregard the Mavericks who just made the finals.
Yes, absolutely.
Absolutely crazy to me.
Absolutely. I think that was a fluke run. They were very good. They were very good. I think
you're
that
pissing
was
me off.
I don't think it will happen again.
You're telling me Luka is the best player in the world, and the Mavericks just made the finals, and they are not a finals competitor.
I think it was a fluke. Again,
you don't know ball.
It was a fluke. I'm just telling you what it is. I think it was a fluke. The only 3 teams that will truly contend for a championship this year in the West: Denver, Minnesota, OKC. Those are the 3 teams you want to catch up to. Now, I don't know if the Suns can catch up to them. In fact, I highly doubt the Suns can catch up to them. But if you have Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, and I guess an old Bradley Beal who can still go get you 30 on not any given night, but maybe one night every 3 weeks, I think you can still contend. Again, you bring in pieces that you absolutely need, and you still have 2 of quite possibly the top 11, top 12. Again, depending on who you ask. You still have 2 of the top 11, top 12 players in this league. So, again, those are the 3 teams I'm chasing. I'm chasing if I'm in the West. Sacramento, I love the DeRozan pickup. Don't think that's going to win you a championship. Don't think that's going to compete in the West. Obviously, Golden State is not going to compete in any West. They wouldn't compete in the East right now. The Clippers, no, I'm not really worried about the Clippers, especially after losing Paul George. Again, Dallas, I think that was a little bit of a fluke run. I don't think that they're gonna reach. I don't think that they can reach that the finals again. But especially like you said in the West, I think. But again, those are the 3 teams that I'm chasing. So I think breaking it up right now would be a very, very big mistake for the Suns, especially because of, again, not the absolute what's the word I'm looking for. But either way, I think that's the wrong. I think that'd be the wrong move for the Suns.
That's a good point, Kev. They low-key chasing the Pelicans.
Who's chasing the Pelicans?
The Suns.
The owner plays for the Suns. The owner, Devin Booker, owns the Pelicans.
No. After the DeJounte Murray pickup, I see them on the same level as the Pelicans.
Do you think the Pelicans keep Brandon Ingram?
Do I think they keep who?
Brandon Ingram.
Yes.
CJ's out. CJ's out of there. CJ McCollum is gone.
That's fine.
But even then, are you going to trust Zion to play 75 games again?
He almost
no,
did.
I will never trust him. Do you trust Bradley Beal to play 75 games?
Absolutely.
I don't want him to play 75 games for the damn team.
Do you trust KD to play 75 games?
No.
Do you trust Devin Booker to play 75 games?
But they all played. Devin Booker played 68. KD played 76. And Beal, I think, was like in the 50s.
Do you trust them to play 75 games?
If I was betting man, no.
Okay.
But I would trust him to play more games than Zion.
I don't disagree with you.
More than Zion.
Because disagree. I don't disagree.
Without Zion, where's the Pelicans team at?
With this DeJounte Murray pickup, in a pretty good spot. In a pretty good spot.
I don't know. Again, I think it's because CJ McCollum or DeJounte Murray cannot move off the ball. They can't move off the ball. So one of them's gonna have to.
CJ McCollum can move off the ball. He did it in Portland. When he was behind Dame. He did. Yes,
so they didn't take turns. They didn't just take turns going with the ball.
Trust me, they did.
Not as much as you
but
think.
Dame definitely had more of the ball than CJ. And
Well,
CJ
obviously,
played off the ball.
If I'm the Pelicans, I keep CJ because I definitely feel like he can play off the ball.
No.
He can.
No. But you're telling me that CJ McCollum has the same role in Portland that he does in New Orleans.
I think he can have a better role because
now.
he's getting injured. Not injured. He's getting old, and he's going to be asked to do less now. So I feel like this could be a great fit for him. If I'm him, I don't want to leave. If I'm him, I don't want to leave.
If I'm CJ, I'm out. I'm gone.
Right now, in the Pelicans, is CJ the 4th option?
He would be.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a good 4th option.
That's what I'm saying. CJ McCollum, 4th option. He still averaged like 20 as well. That's fantastic.
There's one basketball.
That's
fine.
Listen. What's the point of having CJ McCollum on the court? You're telling me CJ McCollum is a good defender?
No,
if he's going to touch the ball,
defense.
That you're asking DeJounte to do that. That's why
you
you brought him in.
Listen,
you have Dyson Daniels.
Listen to what I'm saying.
No,
if CJ McCollum is going to touch the ball every 5th or 6th possession, because Brandon Ingram needs to get his shots, Zion needs to get his shots, and DeJounte Murray needs to get his shots. What's the point of having CJ McCollum on the floor?
Zion
if you're not bringing him off
need
the bench?
The ball to be effective. He can play off the ball.
Who you saw?
Zion Williamson. Yeah, you think every possession that he scores is just him driving to the bucket? No.
Yes.
It's not.
He's not Giannis.
He gets backdoor screens for lobs. He gets backdoor cuts. He has all of that. And
again,
you clearly
what's the point of CJ McCollum being on the floor?
You clearly do not watch Pelicans games enough to know that.
CJ can spot up the ball. Okay. He was spotting up in Portland.
First of all, I'm tired of this disrespect because I haven't watched more sports than any of you watch in your entire life. Secondly,
clearly not basketball.
That's not
clearly not basketball. Clearly not basketball.
All right, so if you guys want to be delusional, that's okay. That's on you guys.
You don't watch Pelicans games. If you're
Okay.
telling me Zion cannot play off the ball, that's what you're telling me.
I would not have the job I currently have if I didn't watch sports. Let's be honest. I would not have the job I currently have if I didn't watch sports.
I don't disagree.
Okay. So again, I'm tired of that nonsense. First of all. Secondly, what's the point of CJ McCollum being on the floor if he's not going to have the CJ McCollum is the point guard. And again, DeJounte Murray had a point guard in Atlanta. There's a reason why he's not in Atlanta anymore. There's a reason why.
But
Because
CJ and Trey are two different
Murray. Listen, DeJounte, they're not two different players. They're the same. They have the same play style.
You're telling me
McCollum-
CJ
No, they
plays
do not.
just like Trey Young?
You're telling me
Oh my goodness.
Can I finish? Can I finish?
No.
Can I
Go ahead.
finish?
No.
Can I finish? Because it's Trey Young, not a true point guard.
Nah, he is.
What is
He's like-
CJ McCollum? It's CJ McCollum's responsibility not to get the ball to Brandon Ingram and Zion.
He's the combo guard, though.
He
Answer
played,
the question.
he played the 2 in Portland. He could definitely play
He has
2
a
on-
different role. That's what I'm trying to say. He has a
Last
different
year,
role.
Yes. Last year, yes. Now that DeJounte is there, no. He will go back to playing as an off-ball guard.
Mhm.
But again, when he has two options in front of him, what is the point of him being on this team?
So
To have,
Brandon
it,
Ingram
to have a
and
good
Zion
basketball team.
are just going to get the ball every single damn possession. Every
Yeah.
possession. Only Ingram and Zion are taking shots. Every possession.
Ingram, Zion, and DeJounte Murray. Yes.
And then you have CJ McCollum too on top of it. That's fantastic. This team is deep. It's very good. They have Alvarado. They have Dyson Daniels. It's a good team. They don't need CJ.
They all have different play styles too, so it's not like they're.
Oh, and I don't watch Pelicans basketball.
They don't have
hold on, no.
anymore.
I don't watch Pelicans basketball. I don't watch Pelicans. He brought up Dyson Daniels and Alvarado. Herb Jones and Trey Murphy are both in front of them in the rotation.
And you still have Dyson Daniels and Alvarado as guards too to play defense. So you don't have CJ do the defensive side of the ball. You can pair them up with different people. You can put him on the court at a different time with other people who complement his game so that he's not a defensive liability when he's on the court. You can pair him up with other guys.
I just want to point out Dyson Daniels did get traded.
Dyson Daniels got traded. He's not playing.
Again, you guys were just saying, oh, you don't watch basketball. You damn right that's on you. You don't watch basketball. I'm not going for none of that.
No, I'm not going to let you sit here and try to get away with the CJ McCollum take because I messed up on Dyson Daniels. You're not getting away with this. Sorry.
No, I don't care about that. You guys are sitting here telling me I don't watch basketball, and you just said Dyson Daniels like he's still on the Pelicans. So I'm not going for none of that. Secondly, again, CJ McCollum's responsibility last year was to get the ball to Zion and Brandon Ingram and to score. When he absolutely needed to score, he couldn't in OKC. Against in the series in OKC. Am I wrong or am I right?
You're right.
Okay. Game 1. They had an opportunity to win. Came out of CJ McCollum, he missed a shot. And he shot like 35% from the field.
I think you're right. That was a long time ago.
I know. Because I watch basketball. Secondly, again, when you have DeJounte Murray and CJ McCollum. CJ McCollum's role is it wasn't the same in Portland. But his role now is very similar to Trey Young. Because he just doesn't have to score as much as Trey Young because he has guys like Brandon Ingram and Zion Williamson. So now his role on the Pelicans is null and void because you bring in DeJounte Murray. Who can also facilitate. He did it in San Antonio. He can facilitate. So if he comes in, takes that role from CJ McCollum, and now you bring in the defense that he brings in, because you're going to start CJ McCollum, DeJounte Murray, let's say Herb Jones or Trey Murphy, whichever one, Zion, and then whoever the big is. Jonas went to
Washington.
Toronto or Washington. I'm thinking Jakob Poeltl. Jonas went to Washington, so you start whoever the big is.
Mm-hmm.
So if you do end up keeping CJ McCollum on this team, the best option for him is to come off the bench.
No.
It absolutely is. Because you have DeJounte Murray at the 1. You put Trey Murphy at the 2. You put Herb Jones at the 3. You put Zion at the 4. And you put whoever at the 5. You traded Larry Nance, so he's no longer. Pelicans don't even have a big, I'm pretty sure. At this very moment in time. I could be wrong.
I thought
But
they
you start
had
whoever at the 5.
Steven Adams, but I could be wrong.
He's on Houston right now.
He's in Houston.
Yeah.
He's in Houston. So, and then you bring CJ McCollum off the bench. That way he can play his role. He can score or he can facilitate. When Brandon Ingram, when not all 3 of them are on the court. When he's on the court with the other 3 of them, what's the point? He's going to be there doing nothing. Because DeJounte Murray and Brandon Ingram and Zion are going to have the ball majority of the time.
So would you agree last year that they had the ball the majority of the time, Ingram and Zion?
Yes.
Yet as a third option, he averaged 20 a game last year.
Okay. Yes,
So
as a third option.
As a fourth option, you don't think averaging 15, 16 is not a good fourth option?
No. And if I'm CJ, I want to get out because I know I'm capable of more. Like you said, he just averaged 20 as a third option. If I have CJ as a third option, I'm absolutely taking that. But if I'm CJ McCollum and I know I can average 20 as a third option, what is the point for me to stay there when I can go have a bigger impact on a different team and still get mine?
So in Phoenix, if you had KD and Booker and then Beal was averaging 20 and you have Grayson Allen as your fourth option averaging 16, you're not happy?
But Grayson Allen wasn't an option. He was a spot-up shooter.
You're not happy?
No. Grayson Allen has a different role than CJ McCollum. Grayson Allen has a different role. Am I wrong?
So CJ McCollum can't swap to that role?
No, because he can do more. Grayson Allen can't put the ball on the floor. I watched every Suns game.
Right.
Don't do that. I watched every Suns game last year. Grayson Allen, you telling me Grayson Allen and CJ McCollum are the same role and the same skill set?
I'm not saying that. But what you're telling me is that CJ can't play that role?
CJ, listen to me. As a man, as a basketball player, he can play that role. He does not want to play that role. You think?
How do you know?
Because he has never played that role. He didn't play that role in Portland. He never played that role here. And it's the same thing that goes for other NBA players. You think Kevin Durant wants to sit in the corner the whole time? That's why he was pissed off. He took the most corner threes he's ever taken in his entire career this season. He does not want to sit in the corner. And I'm not comparing Kevin Durant and CJ McCollum, but they're both guys who can go get their own bucket and have averaged 25 plus in this league.
Jamal.
So if I'm a guy that could go get their own bucket, I don't want to sit in the corner and shoot threes.
If he was younger, yes, but he's getting older. He's not going to play that many more years in the league. So if he wants his best opportunity to win, it's to stay where he's at. That's all I'm trying to say. He's 32. CJ McCollum isn't going to be playing until he's 40 years old. He will not sustain. He's got 4 or 5 years left max. And he's going to regress. He's not going to be a number 2 option anywhere else. Can he be number 3? Absolutely. But why would you be number 3 when you can stay on the team where you are, where you've had some success, be a number 4, either in the starting lineup or off the bench, and go compete? That's what you're not understanding.
So you don't think he can go to Orlando and average 20, 21, 22 and 8 assists?
They have Klay Thompson.
I'm sure he could.
Klay Thompson, that's a Mavericks, my bad. But I mean, why would he go to Orlando?
I'm sure he could. Listen,
because
I'm absolutely 100% sure that he could, but again,
he wouldn't be as successful.
He would not be as successful. I understand the Magic are young, rising playoff team. I got it. There's no reason to go from the Pelicans right now to the Magic right now. There's no reason to do it.
Again, that wouldn't be up to him. That'd be up to the Pelicans. But again, if
right.
I'm him, I know I can go get 20, 21, 22. And like you said, he's getting older, so he still wants another contract. And actually, I'm about to find out.
What kind of contract are you talking about? Because if you're thinking some max level extension,
a DeRozan contract. A DeRozan contract.
No, it's not. He is not worth a DeRozan contract.
What did DeRozan get?
3 year.
20 got $25 million a year. I think CJ McCollum could absolutely.
For CJ
McCollum is getting 33 this year and 30 next year.
He shouldn't be getting that much money. That was like older season. That was like younger
again.
season.
I don't care what he should or shouldn't be getting. That's what he's getting. He's getting 33 this year and 30 million next year.
He's not leaving. We can move on.
If Clay can go out and get 3 years for 50 and get offered 2 years for 50, I know CJ McCollum could go get 2 years for $50 million.
Bro,
contract.
you are a Klay Thompson hater, though.
Who's the better player right now?
No,
who's the better player?
I'm going to take CJ. I'm just saying that you are a Klay Thompson hater.
Okay, whether I hate Klay Thompson or not, you just told me CJ McCollum's a better player than Klay Thompson. Right?
Offensively, yes. 100%.
You just told me you would take CJ McCollum over Klay Thompson. Wrong or right?
Yes.
Okay. Klay Thompson was offered 2 years, 48 by the Warriors, but took 3 years, $50 million. So he was offered $24 million a year. You just told me CJ McCollum's a better player. So why can't CJ McCollum go get 2 years, $50 million when Klay Thompson was offered 2 years, 48?
By the time that CJ is due for a contract, no team is going to be willing to pay him the money that he wants.
Again, all I'm saying is CJ McCollum can go to another team and have more of an impact instead of just being a 3-point shooter. Because you said you brought up Grayson Allen. Grayson Allen, first of all, led the league in 3-point percentage because that is exactly what he does. Grayson Allen is not facilitating for anybody. He's not putting the ball down. He's not putting the ball on the floor and going to get his own bucket. He's sitting, moving off the ball, and finding and when Katie and Book and Beal get doubled, he's shooting the open three.
And CJ can do that.
He can do that, but he
that
can also
be
do
CJ's
so much more
role.
than that.
He
can
can
also do so much more than that. Grayson
You're
Allen
right.
he's also a much better defender than CJ McCollum. So again, there's different roles. When you already have the best option for the Pelicans and CJ McCollum is for him to come off the bench. It's for him to come off the bench.
It's fine. He would still be the fourth option.
Again, yes, that's what I'm saying. But you guys are saying that they'll all be amazing in the starting lineup. That's not true.
They can be. They 100% can be. And I guarantee you, if they keep him, he will prove it.
Like you see how I put that. You see how you put that if in there? It's a big ass if.
It's not up to him if he gets traded, unless he's flat out requesting a trade, which he has not. Right. He wants to be there. If he did not, we would have heard CJ McCollum is requesting a trade from the New Orleans Pelicans from Shams or Woj, but we have not.
It's also barely a month out of the season, so we may not hear it right now.
Why not?
Because we may not hear it right now. Things may change. Because listen, Brandon Ingram's also looking for a contract. They have not given him that yet. And he's on the last year of his deal. So if he gets paid, things may get different. I'll tell you that right now. That's just how the NBA works. There's a reason why Paul George left. Because Kawhi got paid and Paul George wanted the same amount of money.
Do you think CJ McCollum and Brandon Ingram should have the same amount of money?
I don't think so. CJ McCollum may think differently. I also don't think Paul George should be making the same amount of money. Paul George thinks so. That's why he left.
Paul George should definitely be making the money that he's making.
No, not the same. No. Again, I don't think Paul George should have the same contract as Kawhi Leonard. But
why?
He thought so. That's why he left.
Why?
What do you mean why? Paul George wanted 3 years, 150 and a no trade clause. Who do you think you are? It didn't work. Why am I going to give you a no trade clause and you have done nothing for me in the 4 years that you've been here?
Why are you giving that to Kawhi when he's been on the bench injured for the last 4 years?
Again, listen.
I'm losing my mind.
I'm also not the Clippers. I'm also not the Clippers.
I'm losing my mind.
I'm also not the Clippers. I just think
always
when Kawhi's healthy.
Availability is the best ability, and PG come playoff time is always on the floor.
Was he on the floor in 2023?
He should be getting paid
Answer the question.
Over Kawhi Leonard.
Did he play a single game in the playoffs in 2023? Did he play a single game in the playoffs in 2023? Answer the question, D-Lo.
Who did they play 2023?
The Suns in the first round. Who did they play? The Suns in the first round. Did he play a single minute? Because you want to think about it? No, that's the answer. Always is not that answer. Always is not that answer. Always is not the correct answer. Don't do that. Don't do that. Because, bro, y'all play with my knowledge, bro. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Paul George hasn't been more available?
No. Listen. Don't do that because guess who played more playoffs? Who played more playoff games in 2023?
Hold on.
I'll answer for you. Kawhi. I'll save you some time. Save you some internet usage. So Kawhi.
Oh, don't worry. My internet usage is a lot better than yours. Trust me.
That's because I don't need the internet to look up a lot of the stuff. Again, you guys keep saying I don't watch basketball. I watch more basketball and sports than you guys have in your entire life. So I'm tired of y'all playing with me like I'm just not like. Come on, bro. Don't do that. Don't do that.
But the year before, when the Clippers took the Suns to what, 6 games? Who was on the floor?
PG.
Okay.
PG, yeah.
Okay. This year, when they were playing the Mavericks, who was on the floor?
They both were, but Kawhi got hurt. And where did they go? PG was on the floor. PG was on the floor. Where did they go?
In 2021, was PG on the floor?
Yeah.
In the bubble?
They
were both on the floor.
Okay, right? And they're on the floor, right? PG was on the floor? PG was on the floor.
Yes.
And PG and you love PG, right? You think he deserves $50 million a year and a no trade clause.
Yes. If that's what Kawhi is making, I would be paying PG that money. Yes.
And the no trade clause. And the no trade clause.
Yeah, if that's what he wants.
Okay. First of all, you sound very sure when you say that. Secondly,
so we're not going to act like PG isn't one of the best two ways in the league.
I can name 3 off the top of my head that are better than him.
Go ahead.
Actually, 4.
Go ahead.
Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, Jimmy Butler, Kawhi Leonard. Because you want to talk about on the floor? On the floor.
I'll give you 3. Jaylen Brown is not a better player than Paul George.
Jaylen Brown just won Finals MVP and Eastern Conference Finals MVP and was the best player on his team.
He's not a better player than Paul George.
That is insane.
We can stop.
That is insane to say.
It's not.
Okay. I'll put a poll up. I'm going to clip this and put a poll up to see who's
don't say this season. Say as a player who is better.
Yeah.
Not
Jaylen
this
Brown.
season.
Jaylen Brown.
As a player.
In career,
not
the
career.
Career?
Just as a player who is a better player.
Right now, as a basketball player, who I will take.
Yes.
Jaylen Brown 10 times out of 10.
Player. No.
10 times out of 10. Give me Jaylen Brown. Jaylen Brown has done something Paul George has not. Jaylen Brown has done something Paul George has not. That's performed well in the playoffs.
Paul George has never performed well in the playoffs. Ever. In his entire career. He never performed well in the playoffs. Ever.
2 seasons. Jaylen Brown also has.
You just told me ever. You just told me ever. He's never performed well in the playoffs.
Okay, here's the difference. One of those teams, one of those guys made it to the finals twice and won 1. The other guy made it to the conference finals.
That's besides the point. You said he is
because the playoffs is a full thing.
Never performed well in the playoffs.
I didn't say never. The never part means get to the finals. Has Paul George ever got to the finals? Has Paul George gotten to the finals?
Jamal, you funny. You know what I mean?
Answer the question. Has Paul George got to the finals?
No.
Has Paul George won conference finals or finals MVP?
No.
So they both had 2 good finals runs. He had one in Indiana and he had a decent one in 2021. he made it to the conference finals in both years and lost. Jaylen Brown had two good finals runs, made it to the finals one year, won the finals the other year, and won Eastern Conference Finals MVP and Finals MVP in the same year.
Okay, Jamal.
Whose playoff run is better?
Whose playoff run? JB.
Yeah, but okay.
Who's the better player? It's Paul George.
Jaylen Brown.
Okay, we can agree to disagree and move on.
No, it's okay because I'm gonna put a poll up. I'm gonna put a poll up, and so when this poll is overflowed with Jaylen Brown votes, I can't wait to see your face. Can't wait. But that I think is gonna conclude this show. That is gonna conclude this show.
I literally just saw the chat. You guys.
Yeah, bro. The chat is so crazy. The chat is so crazy.
What you mean?
We're vibing. We're having a good time.
John, we were just listening. It was like we were the audience now.
Bro, you said D-Lo so cute talking back to Daddy Jamal right now. Like, come on.
That is so insane. But that is going to close out this episode of Gumball Sports Machine. We will be back. Are you guys going to be back tomorrow?
Yeah, I'll be there tomorrow.
I got to work tomorrow.
Damn, you're going to work with COVID?
No, I'm negative now.
No, I'm just kidding. But that's going to close it out tomorrow. Or today. That's going to close it out for today. We'll be back tomorrow. I think we should be. We'll see. But we should be back tomorrow. This will be up in an hour or two. But and there's still some stuff we didn't get to today, but
Should go wild.
Yeah, but that's gonna close out for today. For John, Kev, D-Lo, yours truly, Gumball. We were out. We'll see you tomorrow.